The Fuel Sports Network.
Behold the King of Kings.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
I'm dropping the hammer.
No, you're not.
And that's the bottom line.
Here, have a quarter, make a phone call.
I have wrestled with an alligator.
What?
I done tussled with a whale.
What?
I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail.
Funky butt loving. Did he say funky butt loving?
There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Let the big dog eat.
Woo! Whoa! Woo! Whoa! Woo! 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 It's time!
Hello, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to the Derek King Show. Every Wednesday, 9 a.m. on the Fuel Sports Network. And as you can see down below, Fuel Sports Network on Roku and Amazon Fire. Also, fuelsportsnetwork.com. Thank you for joining me today. I always appreciate everybody in their early morning hours during the week getting up and joining me for my content, my shows, whether I'm talking about sports, whether I'm talking about movies, whether I'm talking about other stuff. The only thing that I typically don't get into is politics, but as everyone has seen as of this recording, unfortunately, there was some series of events that had occurred on Saturday afternoon, evening at a rally in Pennsylvania with former President Donald Trump campaigning. And apparently there was some shots that were fired. Multiple people were injured. Reports are as of now that one person was killed, unfortunately. It's a sad thing. It's a sad situation. I don't take any glee or any excitement reporting any of that stuff. Obviously, you're getting a raw recording just immediately after these events have happened, because I will be on vacation and I won't be around. It's I don't know what to say. I really don't. Wish for right now, for what I do know, I hope the best for everyone that was involved, and hope that everyone's going to be okay. And that's all a person can do from my seat, from where I'm at right now. It's a scary thing. If you've ever been involved with that, if you've ever been around that type of a situation, you get it, and obviously Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, obviously best out to him. Don't know what's going on right now. Do know that he was rushed off the stage, but that's kind of where we're at. And typically, like I said before, I don't talk politics. This isn't about politics anymore. This is a worldwide thing, a worldwide phenomenon that has transpired, and it affects everyone. And you never, ever want to see anyone get hurt. The best thing that I could say to everybody is hold your loved ones a little bit closer tonight. Okay? This is something that could happen in any situation. We've seen it in the real world. I'm at a loss for words. I really am. I very rarely, anybody that watches me on a regular basis knows that I'm very rarely at a loss for words, but this is one of those situations where I am. And I'm hopeful that everything turns out all right, and that everybody turns out okay. And whoever the individual was that was involved with that, hopefully that has been taken care of, either to one extent or another. You just hate to see the outcome because it didn't have to be like that. But this is the unfortunate side of these things, that it happens. And it's happened, I think, to be honest with you, it happens a lot more than people care to either remember, because I think, there's a lot of revisionist history, right? And again, I want to apologize for my voice crackling after Wednesday's show. I really took a tank. Lost my voice there for about a day and a half. Had a tough time talking, and just wasn't feeling that great. But I'm on the mend. No worries. But yeah, I think there's a lot of revisionist history about a lot of the stuff that's gone on in the world, not just here in the United States, in the world, about the bad things that's happened. And this is not where we come to dwell on such matters. There's lots of really amazing shows, podcasts. There's some really, really amazing people out there that do yeoman's work in the world of politics, in the world of news, and report these things. It's going to be a tough go for those individuals over the next few days, weeks, months. Yeah, this is the real deal, folks. This is just like right after it happened. So I know about at that time on Saturday, you know about as much as I do, and that's unfortunate. But that's the way these things happen to go. Pardon me. I do want to just kind of go over a couple of housekeeping things real quick. As you guys know, we are an affiliate partner with McDougallBats.com. And if you go over to their website, you could custom order a bat. And I've shown you guys my McDougall bat multiple times. As a matter of fact, I have something really fun to show you. Hang tight. Hold on. You'll love it. Hold on. This is the very brand new, and this goes to show you, I haven't even taken it out of the bag. The McDougall Powerwood Hickory Walnut M10 model with a tough grip. Still got the label on it, baby. Woo! That's going to be a fun swing. And we've already sent one of these out to a young man who's going to be playing organized ball with it. I don't know if he's going to be able to play with it this year, but hopefully we'll be able to get some stuff out of that. Hopefully be able to get some usage out of it. Obviously, I'm going to have one in the batting cage and using it myself. So I will give you a full in-depth report of the lovely McDougall bat. Obviously, as you guys know from mine, I like to swing a little bit bigger bat, little heavier, but but more well balanced. I know a lot of guys, based off of their swing, they like to have an end-loaded bat because they just kind of have tipping him. I like a balanced bat. That's been what I've always swung. That's what I've always liked. I've always liked a little bit of longer bat, even though my arms are like a mile long. I mean, if you could see it, it's like, 3 feet of length that comes out from my shoulder. That's a lot of real estate. So, I already have really, really long arms. I'm standing almost 6'4". So I'm a bigger guy, longer, lankier. So I could really have a bat through the zone. I could stand back in the box and really have a bat through the zone. So, definitely go check them out. There's lots of new bats coming up. If you don't see the new walnut version of this bat, make sure you reach out to the fellows over there at McDougalBats.com. Make sure you use the referral code Fuel Sports Network to purchase your very own custom McDougal bat. Made in the USA, the strongest wood bat ever made. So, as you know, I will be on vacation. I'm going to the lovely state of Florida. I will be down there for a little while, and I will be back next week. I'm going to be hopefully enjoying some of the local cuisine down there. Anybody that, because I'll be back in on Wednesday watching the show along with you all. Get in there, put your comments down there. If you've ever been to Florida, if you're down in Florida, specifically down there in the Panhandle area, where do you like to go? What places do you like to go and eat? I've been to Sharky's, I believe is what it's called down there. It's kind of a nifty little kind of quaint, what do they call that? Kind of tourist trappy type of restaurant. It's a nice restaurant. It's good food, good atmosphere. It's very enjoyable. It's a good place. So if you ever go down there to the, I believe it's in Panama City-ish, Destin, somewhere around that range. It might be Destin. Go check it out. It's going to be a really, really great time, no doubt. But if any of you have been down around that kind of stretch from Santa Rosa Beach all the way up to kind of Destin, Panama City, definitely go check it out, because it's a really, really nice place down there. It's a nice place to go and visit. It's a nice place to go and vacation. Some people have different preferences, and that's okay. I'm the type of person where I can go out into the mountains or something like that, or somewhere out in Montana or wherever, and I could live out in the middle of nowhere if I really wanted to. As you can hear, my voice is actually starting to go now at this point. So I don't know how much time we're going to have left on the clock before it's completely shot, but we're going to muddle our way through it. Obviously, in baseball, in the sports world, we've seen the Cardinals kind of start to come back in the St. Louis market. Obviously, you could tell I'm a St. Louis guy. I'm a St. Louis market guy. The Cardinals are starting to kind of come back around. We'll see how they finish out for the back half, and we'll see how things go. Obviously, as the season wears on, these older guys are going to have to get a little bit more rest. They're going to have to get a little bit more bench time, and these younger guys are going to have to step up, fill the void. That's the way baseball really is. Baseball truly is a team sport. As to where, and I know a lot of people say, well, no, football is a team sport. Well, I've seen one player take over a game. I've seen a wide receiver and a quarterback take over a game. I've seen a running back take over a game. I've seen a one defensive player take over a game. We've talked about it on Goat Talk. Me and the Spurge a couple of times about some of the greatest in whatever sport that they're in, kind of a Mount Rushmore type of thing. And that's a special show that we do every now and again. We don't do it all the time, but we do it. And it's a very fun show. And I'd like to do it more often, but, scheduling conflicts. It is what it is. But I will say that going to football and being where one person can take over the sport, one person can take over the game. Somebody like Lawrence Taylor with the Giants, somebody like Emmitt Smith from the Cowboys or Tony Dorsett, Earl Campbell, Jim Brown. Everybody says, well, quarterbacks can't take over a game. Okay, well, I've seen some really bad quarterback play, especially in St. Louis for about the last 5, 6, 7 years that the Rams were in St. Louis. Some abysmal quarterback play. I remember 97, 98. I remember the Tony Banks era. I remember all the talent in the world, had a really great arm, but absolutely zero touch. Relied on his talent at lower levels of football to where you could get by on that kind of stuff. But when you get to the pros and you're a pro, you can't get by with just talent anymore. You have to be smart. This funny story, Chris Long, former Rams defensive end, the son of the great Howie Long, Raiders defensive lineman during the 70s, had said about Aaron Donald, who just recently retired, I knew he was going to be a Hall of Famer. I knew he was going to be one of the all-time greats. And he said, the reason that I knew, and I think I've told this story before once or twice, but go check out Chris's podcast. And he talks about that. But he had said that I was in the film room, and this was, at the back end when, the Rams were leaving St. Louis. Nobody was in there. Nobody cared. Everybody was looking for their next job, where they're going to play next, what they were going to do. Coaches were kind of like, I don't know, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? Because we might not be here. And so it was kind of a ghost town. And he said, and in comes this kid, Aaron Donald. And he says, hey, you mind if I watch some tape, watch some film? He goes, yeah, man. There's nobody else in here. Go right ahead. He said, I got up and I left and I let him go watch film. He said, that's when I knew. That's when I knew he was going to be one of the greats. So congratulations to Aaron Donald on his stellar career that he's had as a defensive lineman. Is one of the all-time great defensive linemen in the history of the NFL, and one of those type of people that could take over a game. Ray Lewis, he could take over a game. Quarterbacks, I mean, we could go on and on and talk about quarterbacks, wide receivers. Again, we could name names. We all know who they are. We don't have to talk about them. But yeah, baseball's definitely much more of a team sport. You have to be good or great at every single position. You can't have one person that's subpar. I remember the 2011 Cardinals come to mind, where they did have a lot of talent, and they had some decent pitching, but it was more of like innings eaters. It wasn't guys that really went out and shut you down with really powerful strikeout stuff. They weren't Greg Maddux or anything up there, painting the corners, but they were efficient at what they did. You had a couple of young arms that could eat some innings. And you had a couple of savvy veterans in there that could get the job done. And you had a couple of guys in the bullpen that could really throw some heat. But then you still had people in the lineup like Albert Pujols and Matt Holliday in the middle of that lineup. Everybody thinks back to David Freese. But David, as much as I love David and what he did, he really was a kind of just a here and gone. He was only here for a handful of years. He wasn't really that great. I don't even know. I'm not even going to look it up what his WAR average was while he was in St. Louis. And then he got signed to that big deal out in with the Angels out in Southern California. And he really didn't fit there. And then he went over to Pittsburgh, and he was there for a few years. Really wish I could have seen him back in St. Louis again, just for like one little last hurrah. But he was an above average third baseman. He definitely wasn't no Scott Rowland. That's for sure. And I'm just talking about the people in my lifetime. You remember Todd Zeile? Todd Zeile came up. He was a catcher when he first came up. And then he converted over to third base. I really was sad when they let him go. that was, I believe he went to the Mets, if I'm not mistaken, immediately after that. I remember when they traded Ray Lankford out to San Diego to the Padres, I believe, to get Woody Williams, the pitcher, who was, somewhat successful in St. Louis. The Jim Edmonds trade, obviously, was in spring training of 99, 2000, whatever it was, when they traded Adam Kennedy, the second baseman infielder for the Cardinals, up and comer, and the veteran fireballer Kit Bottenfield. He's just notorious sinker ball pitcher. He could throw 80 poo. He's a flash in the pan. Had one good year with the Cardinals and then just fell off. Never really amounted to much. I think he spent maybe 2 or 3 more years in the majors after that, and he was gone. But yeah, the Cardinals have made some moves. Maybe that's what they need to do. Maybe they need to make just a couple of small moves. Maybe they need to go out and get another bat. Maybe they need to go out and get another arm. Whoever that is or whatever that is, they need to probably be looking at that. I know there's been a lot of squawk and talk about Jordan Walker potentially be moving. I don't see that. I don't see in any universe where they give up, because based off of what happened with Adolis Garcia, oh gosh, it'll come to me. I know who the other guy is. Sandy Alcantara, when they traded him to Miami in that Ozuna trade, which it could be a wash. I mean, jury's still kind of out on Alcantara on whether or not he's ever really going to be. I mean, he's had some, he's been good, don't get me wrong, but is he ever going to be really what some people made him out to be? I don't know. We'll see. He's been decent so far, and we'll see. Jury's still out. But there's ones where you look at and you go, oh wow, yeah, that they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't let them go. I remember Jack Clark. They let Jack Clark go in the late 80s. And his power bat, he's a middle lineup guy, and nobody else really had pop on that team. I mean, Ozzie Smith wasn't hitting home runs. Willie McGee wasn't hitting home runs. Did they pop one? Yeah, in important times they did. But Jack Clark was your real power threat in the middle of the lineup at that time. You got to remember, this is after Keith Hernandez was gone, and and all that stuff. Keith Hernandez was never a power guy. I don't know if he ever even hit double digits of home runs. He might have 1 or 2 years, but he was an average guy. He was an on-base guy. That's what he was. He hit for contact. He wasn't going to hit 20 and 30 home runs a year like Jack Clark had a tendency to do. Jack Clark had a tremendous career. I remember when we picked up Will Clark from the Orioles, when McGwire had went down on the back half of the 99 season, 2000 season. And we were in a pennant race at the time. And he just absolutely went on a tear. Hit over 300, I think, for the rest of the way, and corked several home runs. Had a lot of success in St. Louis, and I really wish that, he would have stuck around. That would have been really great. But they had really no place to put him. I mean, let's be real. McGwire was still the guy. McGwire retired after, 2002? And then basically had let Albert Pujols take over that position at that point. Because you got to remember, at the time, Albert Pujols was being batted all around the outfield and the infield. I think the only position he did not play was catcher and shortstop. But I believe he played absolutely every position in the field except for those two. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've been wrong about stuff. Last week, I said, well, the league minimum for rookies, last time I remember was 250,000 or so, 275. It's 750 now. So yeah, way off. That goes to show you how much I pay attention to those things anymore at this point, because they're so almost unrealistic. But yeah, it's one of those deals to where we're going to see hopefully some movement with the team. I don't really see them standing pat. I don't think they can afford to. I think there's some people they're going to have to move. But what are you going to get out of them if they're no good? And other teams know they're no good, or they're washed up or whatever. That's going to be a tough sell. That's going to be a tough thing to get across. So we'll just have to wait and see. The Blues in St. Louis, man, they've been making some moves, haven't they? They've been signing some players and doing some things. Just a laundry list. Go check them out. Check out their Instagram and just see all the signings. There's been lots of reports about, different things and different moves they're making. Obviously, moving on from Chief as the coach. That was that one I didn't agree with. The firing of Craig Berube, I felt was the wrong move. And so we'll see. I believe he got hired by the Toronto Maple Leafs, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the Montreal Canadiens, but I think it's the Maple Leafs that just hired him, I believe. But we'll see. Great coach. Wish him the best wherever he ends up and whatever he does. He brought St. Louis a cup, and I'm happy about that. So, Coach, good luck to you. Loved you while you were here. Wish you could have stayed longer, but we know how these things have a tendency to go. NFL, obviously, the big news out of the NFL right now is the Sunday ticket loss of the NFL. And we know all about that, don't we? Yeah, we know about that, don't we? We know about kicking the NFL's ass in court. We know that, don't we? Go back and read my stuff on fuelsportsnetwork.com. Go check out my articles over there on the St. Louis lawsuit. Guys, I've seen so much stuff anymore. It's hard. It really is hard for me to watch the NFL as a product anymore, knowing what I know. I love football. I love the sport. I hate who runs it and how it's ran. That's what I'll say about that. But $4.something billion, and it could potentially be trebled if it's found to be in violation of certain acts. We could get into all the legalities and stuff like that. There's the Sherman Act, and there's what was the violation that they were trying to get the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders, on from moving from Oakland to Vegas. They were trying to get them on all sorts of antitrust stuff. And so there's avenues and routes, but we'll see. Obviously, the NFL is going to fight it tooth and nail. They're going to say it was fair business practice. It was fair open negotiation. They're going to say whatever they need to say. They're going to lie their butts off about it. That's what they do. So we'll see. But that's the big news on the NFL. As far as for me this week, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Just keep your heads up. Keep plugging along. We're going to be all right. It's going to be okay. I'll see you back here next week. Hopefully with a little bit better voice. And hopefully with a little bit better tan. It's Derek King Show signing off. Guys, go check out fuelsportsnetwork.com. Go check out all the great shows on Fuel Sports Network on Roku and Amazon Fire. We're over on YouTube too. Go check it out. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's out there. Why not? It's there. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Thank you so much. See you then.